Thank you so much. I'll try to be brief. I've sat in your seat a couple of times, and I know you'd like this to go a little faster so you can get your degree. So thank you for inviting me, and thank you for listening to my story. First and foremost, congratulations to all of you and all of your families. I know the last several years has been both a sacrifice as well as an investment in your collective futures. So over 700 of you are receiving your degrees today. By the numbers, roughly 3/4 of you are receiving graduate degrees in the sciences, and 1/4 of you are receiving graduate degrees in the arts. I find it interesting that some of the larger cohorts are for disciplines that weren't around 10 years ago, particularly those at the intersection of data science, data analytics, global health, and health informatics. I'm certain over the next 5 years, Northwestern will add even more degree programs to the vast list of SPS offerings. Can anyone say AI? There you go. This dynamic actually speaks to the power and the absolute necessity of lifelong learning. And this is the topic I'd like to spend the next few minutes on. So here's some good news. The days of coming out of college or graduate school and going into a field where you would toil for 40 years, rising through the ranks, are over. And thank goodness, right? I'm here to tell you that this likely won't be the last time you earn a new credential or a new degree, if you're smart. And you're all, by that GPA list earlier, way smarter than me. I have sat in your seats a total of 4 times in my life. Now, this is not nearly the number of times a gentleman named Benjamin Bolger has earned degrees. Did anyone see an article in the New York Times last week? It was entitled, "The Man Who Couldn't Stop Going to College," right? 14 advanced degrees, plus a bachelor's and an associate's, and even I think that's excessive. I have pursued and graduated with 1 undergraduate degree and 3 different graduate degrees, at least so far in my life. And each and every time, like you, I graduated into new worlds and new opportunities. In some cases, I was flat out lucky. Right place, right time. In other cases, I deliberately turned to higher education to pivot from one career path to another. My first pivot was right after college. I studied journalism at Penn State University back in the 80s, when journalism was actually a thriving industry. This is way before Facebook. By the time I graduated in 1984, yes, it makes me 61, I'll help you with the math, the country was in a deep recession. If you think mortgage rates at 7% are high now, mid-80s it was 14%. And in Pennsylvania, where I grew up, it was particularly hard hit as the steel industry was on the verge of collapse. In fact, my sophomore year of college, my father lost his job in the steel industry. I was very fortunate to be able to finish my undergraduate degree without taking on any debt. Now, as we all know, graduating is one thing, but finding a job is completely different. I had also come to the conclusion in undergrad school that I was more interested in the business and production side of publishing, not necessarily the reporting and the editing side. On the advice of a Penn State professor, and with the support and the great good fortune of scholarships, I was able to attend the Rochester Institute of Technology for my first graduate degree. The program was an MS in printing technologies. Now, that's not a sexy degree. I'm not sure it was back then. It's certainly not now. And it's been renamed the program in print and graphic media, which is still not as sexy as you think, but it's better than print. Back then, that degree was a door opener to another then thriving industry, printing. Through exposure in that program to the technical aspects of the industry, taking courses in color science, electrical mechanical engineering, design, and computer science, I pivoted from being a journalism major to a technical specialist. What do you think that means? Yes, more money. It was a good gig, and in 1985, the timing was perfect. Apple had just come out with the Apple Macintosh computer. Adobe was a startup, and desktop publishing had just taken off. Everything about the publishing process was becoming digital, and I had just graduated from one of the only schools in the country that prepares students for such a transition. Sometimes you just get lucky, or timing is everything. I did leave school after completing my coursework at RIT. I was so done with college and graduate school. So I didn't complete my master's thesis. I needed to take a job, and I got a phenomenal opportunity in New York in publishing at Time Inc. They were the then publisher of Time, Sports Illustrated, People, Life, Money, Fortune, and Discover magazines. Even today, those 7 magazines will just roll off my tongue. I needed the experience, and I needed the money. Subsequently, I moved on to McGraw-Hill's Business Week magazine. Today, that's Bloomberg Business Week. But even then, I hadn't completed my master's thesis and received my graduate degree. While a business week, I finally decided to complete it, figuring I'd never go back to school again. And I was wrong on that. I completed my thesis and received my degree with 6 days left in the deadline. I think I still hold the record. That master's degree led me to a 20-year career in the C-suite at a Fortune 250 company, R.R. Donnelley, and a move from New York City to Chicago. That move also led me to another graduate degree opportunity, this time an MBA, at the time it was called a Master's in Management, from Kellogg. Not only did that degree set me up for business success, but it gave me all the confidence in the world to stand my ground in any room to debate the merits of a business decision. Now, at this point, if I were at a Kellogg event, I'd make some self-deprecating joke about University of Chicago grads, but I'm going to pass on that. Armed with this new degree and several more years of experience, I advanced to the role of Chief Technology Officer and President of Digital Solutions Group at Donnelley. This role took me around the world where I met incredibly talented leaders, coworkers, customers, and other business partners. Then in late 2007, the Great Recession hit. While I was fortunate to continue to have opportunities to grow at Donnelley, to whom I frankly owe my career, I knew I needed to plan for another pivot as the print media industry was declining at an alarming rate. So once again, I turned to higher education to plot my path forward. I'm not sure if you all remember, probably not. I'm pretty sure all of you were born then, before then. But in 2009, during the Great Recession, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act was passed. It was also known as the Obama stimulus package. Enormous amounts of money were earmarked for areas like healthcare and healthcare IT. So in 2010, I enrolled in SPS as MS in Medical Informatics. I think it's now called Health Informatics. Back then it was Medical Informatics program, hoping to leverage my skill sets in business and technology to enter the healthcare space. I graduated from Northwestern again in 2012. Shortly after earning my MS in Medical Informatics, I had the opportunity to take a hard right to become the CEO of Follett Corporation, a nearly $3 billion company whose board I had served on for 11 years. Follett is another company for whom I owe a debt of gratitude for the opportunities they provided me. As an aside, the medical informatics degree was not for nothing. My husband watched me do it from afar, well, actually from the basement, and ended up doing the program, and he's also a graduate of SPS Medical Informatics, working at Lurie Children's Hospital on the Community Connect team. So after Follett, I had another opportunity to become CEO of a direct mail, direct marketing company called SG360. We ultimately sold that to private equity in 2018. And today, as was detailed, I serve on the board of several companies, including a family-owned company in Utah. We used to own the Utah Jazz, a mutual funds board, and a private company here in Chicago. I'm also privileged to serve on several not-for-profit boards in the Chicago area, as you heard, and I'm proud to say that I have come full circle with Penn State as a member of their board of trustees. You know, higher education seems to be in the spotlight a lot today for all the wrong reasons. For all the right reasons, I'm here to say it has served me well, as it will for all of you. At 61, did I mention I was 61? Okay. My educational journey isn't over. For those who care, I am exploring a Google Data Analytics certificate on Coursera, as well as several other certificate programs, so who knows what's next. So I leave you with these two thoughts, informed by my experience. Education will transform your life, and learning leads to new opportunities. The pursuit of advanced education has given me many opportunities to grow, both personally and professionally. It has given me a rewarding career and family life that has taken many unanticipated yet exciting twists and turns. In the end, I ended up exactly where I was supposed to be, and I wish the same for all of you. Congratulations.